A Blackout poem, monoprints, a playing card turned to artist card, and a mix of fancy lush papers are just a quick rundown of the nifty parts to our first of 12 spreads in a circle journal we are participating in. Welcome to PM Artist Studio. I am Mariah, the M in PM. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Now let's get started. Welcome again, and here we are. I have already, as you saw there, had done the Blackout poem. I didn't think that I needed to probably video that part, but I did get the sheet from one of the very many old paper sample books that I have from when I worked for a printer. These things are really, really cool. And so I thought actually this journal was going to have more of a silver rather than gold, because it feels like I always do gold, but of course you could see there that it went to gold. But I did kind of keep both. It's a little bit of silver, a little bit of purplish and whatnot. And what you were seeing there were the kind of dauber style distress inks. I don't know if they still make those dauber ones. They are really old, so I'll have to check that out. If I can find them, I'll put a link below to the two colors that I used in this particular journal. I think it's like a Concord grape, and the other one is sort of a yellowy orange. Sorry, I should have had that written down. But the paper itself is a metallic pearlized paper. I can't remember exactly what brand. Well, it's there up in the corner. It's at Essie, but I don't even know if that particular paper is available anymore. Something similar would be a line from Mohawk called Curious, and they have metallic papers. You can find them all over the internet. But anyways, just a FYI on that really cool paper. The other papers that you see there are ours from the Batik Sepia set. I will drop a link of those below if you're interested in those. I didn't use a ton of them, but you will see here in just a moment where I do actually use, I think, one or two in this particular one. All those are right there. Now I'm attaching this because it's going to be a flip panel, as you kind of see me doing there. And that is the paper I was talking about. But those pieces are from the envelope journal, the boho pocket envelope journal that I had done. And those were some of the leftover flaps. So, like I said, I keep a lot of everything, and P keeps even more. Coming back in, one of my newest favorite things are those the Chalkola acrylic markers. Super awesome. I will put links to those below. And of course the Colira watercolors. And not seen in this video, but I just got the new set of Finetech. I think it's Finetech. It might be Finitech. Hey, comment below. Let me know what that is. Or I should look that up. Anyway, using the watercolors to fancy up the deckled edge, just add a little gilding there. And I didn't do a lot of direct kind of mixed media or background work on this particular spread because I was going to lay down a lot of different papers, and P had supplied me, not only had she done the backside of this right here of the Blackout poem, she just did some brayer off almost, is really all she did on that, but it was a really cool technique and brought it, I mean, right in line with the rest of the papers, as you can kind of see over there in the corner. And the reason that I did the two little top pieces and then came back in is that, I wanted the little flippy door part, and so I wanted a little bit on the front and a little bit on the back so it would properly flip back and forth. That is the reasoning for why I had the top and bottom and then filled in with the middle piece. Like it was sort of just kind of coming out of the page. Once more, this that you saw there was another one of P's monoprints that she has been doing on the jelly plate. And it just became very apparent that the black needed to be repeated. And I happened to have this little kind of promo piece from, oh, who knows when. It's a long time. I've been carrying it around for a while because I always liked it because of the black printed paper. So it's not like a cardstock and it has a finish on it. Something to keep in mind with that is that they're tricky papers to work with. Fingerprints show up, they get scuffed, glue shows up terribly. But if you do it right, and you kind of keep your hands clean and keep a cloth like you saw there handy, you can actually wipe down the surface because it is a coated sheet since it was printed. You can see there. Yeah, you want to keep it clean because if it dries up on there, then you're gonna have weird marks and it just kind of ruins the finish. But man, you couldn't get that with a regular cardstock. I mean, you could probably put Mod Podge over it, but again, you're gonna have lines. You just can't match a coated sheet. Not in finish. You could probably achieve a very similar look, but I knew that that's what I wanted. Was that really clean coated sheet look, like it had been printed that way. Plus the texture on it is so interesting, moving from, you have the metallic sheet that I had done the ink work on with the Distress inks from, and actually when you close the panel, the back side of where the poem is, there's texture there because of the mono printing that P did. Or I don't know if it's really mono printing because really it was more like a brayer roll. So correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Definitely comment below, let me know. Now, the even cooler thing about this promo piece was the folder. And it was a big deal for me to tear this thing apart because I've been keeping it for a while. This spread needed it though. It had to happen. Number one, it was originally, like, the paper's really nifty because you can see there it's black paper. So when I tore it, it leaves that charcoaly color. And this paper, now I don't know if this particular brand is the Curious line or not, but Curious carries the Mohawk. It's Mohawk Curious. And then the line of paper is it's called Skin. And it has this amazing finish to it that just, I wish you could touch and feel it, but it's so smooth and creamy. But it's pretty thick stuff too. That's why you saw it took me quite a bit of, runs with even with the razor, the X-Acto knife. So I'm just working that corner or the fold to make sure that I have enough space there that everything closes up nicely and still keep a nice repetition of, now I have that coated sheet and then doing a flip side to that nice Curious paper on the other side and repeating that torn edge bit to flow into the next repetition, which is going to be more of the mono print. There we go, the purple. And this one was a little tricky to figure out how much of it we were going to use. I mean, obviously we wanted to use as much as possible, but it just became apparent that having that much purple over on that end wasn't gonna be the right decision. So, and of course P wants me to keep as much of the grungy edge as possible. So that's what we're trying to figure out here is, like, okay, where's it gonna slide in? And then we also really liked that kind of scuffed part in the middle where it sort of grays out with the purple, because that again was a great repetition to the torn edge of those Curious, lovely, lush pieces of paper that were torn. Again, I just cannot say it enough. I wish you could feel those. They just are amazing. I love paper. One of the reasons I liked working for a printer. I had great access to awesome papers, and I'm still to this day using things that I had brought home. Now, this is one of P's mono printed. Like, she actually pulled this off the jelly plate, and it's really nifty, very lightweight, I think archival tissue paper. And when I saw it, I was like, God, it would be so cool if this was just, like, if we could ruche this like you would something that you could sew and create this ruffle effect. If you are feeling inspired, please do like this video, subscribe to the channel. We do process videos at least once a week, and we also have live videos every Wednesday and Friday if you are interested in joining us. Just more of the ruching. It was a little bit tricky to keep the nice flow and be able to, but once you get a rhythm with it, it actually wasn't too terribly difficult. And then the other side, obviously once you have it already sort of ruched, you just kind of glue down. And I knew I wanted to tuck. I believe I tuck it in. Yeah. And it's such a neat effect. I was so pleased. And it was a little bit sad because we knew that we were going to be mailing this. This is going to the UK. So I had to smush it down. I didn't want to, I needed to know what it was going to do because it was going to happen anyway. And so that's why you saw me take the burnishing tool and just kind of flatten everything down. It would have been cool to be able to leave it all fluffed up, but you know, it is going to go in a book. It's going to get squished down. I didn't actually end up using this piece. I thought I was going to, and we wanted to get the effect to match up to some of the others, but I think I used this for a whole different other project. The weird piece with the orange. So we're running everything through the chopper. Fast way to clean up those edges, and things are really coming into place. And obviously adding a little PM logo. You know our feelings on that. We if we love it, we put PM on it. I definitely loved this spread. It was really hard mailing these out, I must say. Like, I surprisingly had some attachment to all of these that we have created so far. All in all, there are going to be, I believe, well, 11. Plus, I think we're going to create one for ours as well, because that's kind of the whole premise with the circle journal is that there are 12 of us, and then at the end we will put together a journal. So we will also have that once we have ours from everyone. I will do a video of all the ones that we received. So I've been working with a lot of this yarn, or I guess it's yarn, but the little fuzzy brown to ombre piece there. I'm just really in love with this idea of using not only papers but textiles. So it went perfectly, and I knew it was going to be a bit of work, so I spent some time getting that in place and making sure all the little fluffy hairy parts don't get glued down. And I think I tried 3 different tools there, and the scissors worked the best. So, tip and trick there. If you have some little tiny scissors, they come in quite handy for this type of work. So I had to go along, let the glue dry enough that then I could come back through and pull those little fluffy bits back out of the glue, because there just really wasn't enough of an edge on that particular type of yarn to keep it in place. So I had to like really kind of press it down and then come back and pull those little fluffy bits out. But I'm so glad I spent the time doing it. It was well worth it in the end. Definitely one of those little cherry on top situations. And there you have it. The little fluffy bit that was a very long process, but so happy I did it. So happy. Now, what we're going to do is just some of these little other final touches. After the last page, the last fold over there was done, and seeing how much purple is showing over there, and that I had some pieces left over, it needed to be repeated. And it was easy enough to do that since we did have those extra little pieces that we had torn off. So you saw me coming in with the blending marker, and then this is that Concord Grape Distress Blotter ink stuff, which was perfect. It sort of blended out some of the white areas because I didn't really need that over there, and then faded very nicely into that more plummy kind of purple. The Q-tip was very important because, again, here we are working in that coated sheet area. So very, very important to keep that clean, because otherwise then you're gonna have the scuffs and the glue marks and such that I talked about earlier. And one of the other things I like to do is to come back in with the edges, and you know, since this is all very dark colors, come along with the alcohol ink marker and clean up those edges. Here I am fluffing out some more. Thought we were done fluffing? No. It had dried up well enough, and then I could come back in, and then you see me there, well, sort of see me with the alcohol ink, and I even brought in I think it was the salmon color. It's kind of a yellowishy, orangey color, peachy, along the strip area. So I did purple and then broke it up. So if you looked at the edge, it's like those pieces ran. And once I closed up that front cover, it was kind of same situation, knowing that it would kind of meet up with the purple. And I had that other, because I had split the one piece in half, did the same thing over here. And then left a little bit of the gold deckled, or the gold gilded kind of edge that I had done there along the deckling. So there was just a little peek out of that. I felt that it was good to get rid of a bit of it. Now, one last piece, because we wanted to put something in that center section. Because we always like, even though we have the folded over kind of flap opening up to the Blackout poem, just needed some other interactive piece that, you know, PM Artist Studio is known for, or should be known for. We like to keep up with kind of our projects being more interactive. So that's what I did there, using our cool rusty metal type washers. And if you are interested, we do have a video on how P got those to look so rusty metalish. It's a lot of different inks, mainly alcohol inks, but we do have some videos for that. I'll drop a link below, or actually put it up in the card, so check the corner there and you can see that video to see how those are made. And then we just run them through the embossing folder of different sorts. And it's always interesting to add that extra bit of texture with just those smaller elements. And of course I love a 3, so brought one in over in the ruffle area, kind of like they were bouncing around the page, but still well anchored and purposeful. Just tucking it under a little ruffle there. And then the playing card was one from one of our other gel print sessions. So all really coming together, and here we are with the finished piece. Seeing a little bit up close again. I really wanted to show how cool that paper felt. And there is the Blackout poem. Rachel, I hope you really enjoyed this, and hopefully please comment below if you have enjoyed this. And we do these, we're going to be doing a total of 11 of these, so stay tuned. We will have more, and like I said before, we have our live sessions on Wednesdays and Fridays. Stay tuned. Like our video. Leave us a comment. Subscribe if you haven't. Ring the bell. We do this each week. Thank you again. Bye.